Hey guys, so Miss White shared with me the link to the assignment where you read over my student letter and asked me any questions you have. So I thought I'd go through and look at all the questions and answer them in a video for you so that you can get to know me a little better before I'm in class teaching you guys. So we'll go ahead and get started. First question, what made you want to be a teacher and what kind? So I love school. I enjoyed being in school all the time. And I've always loved English as well. So I loved reading. I loved analyzing literature. I loved pulling things apart and getting lost in a book. So I wanted to be able to share my love of English and reading with children, with younger kids, and show them that it's not all boring. It's not, all Mark Twain or Charles Dickens, but there is more to English than kids think. And I want to be able to share my love of that English and reading with other kids. So that's really why I became a teacher, and I just enjoy being around kids, and you guys are our future, so I want to make sure our future is raised correctly and that you guys are being raised in a good community and that you're learning something so that you can contribute later on. So I just my love for English and my hope for the future, wanting to build a better future, really contributed to my wanting to teach. So yeah, in English, like I said, I love of reading. I love pulling literature apart. So that's why I chose to be an English teacher. Next thing is my favorite book or series. So you guys said you enjoyed Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which I've read before, and I loved it. I loved it around your guys' age. They just came out when I started middle school. So my brother read them, and then I picked them up after he finished them. So I read those. There was kind of a spin-off, like girls version called Dork Diaries that I read as well. I haven't read Harry Potter. One of you mentioned Harry Potter. I didn't read it as a kid. I don't know why. Just didn't pick it up. I do want to get to reading that sometime, though, in the future. But my favorite book of all time is Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I love the complexity of it. I love the imagery. I love the whimsicalness of it. So that's kind of my inspiration. It was just a fun book to read, and you can really pull it apart as you start to analyze literature more. You can pull the book apart a little better. So right now, I've been reading a lot of different stuff lately. I've been reading some cheesy spy novels. Love those. I love a good mystery. I've been reading some autobiographies lately of leaders, of military people, of, ultra marathoners, different kinds of people. Get inspiration, get ideas, see how they think, see how I can implement their ways of thinking into my way of thinking in order to succeed. But I always have a book on hand. Like right now, I'm reading a book by Jocko Willink. He was a Navy SEAL leader, and it's all about how to be the best leader possible, how to improve your own life, how to succeed in your own life in a business standpoint, any leadership positions. So teaching, for example, or coaching. I want to coach in the future as well. So books like these really help me, and I like to take notes on them and pull them apart. So it really just kind of depends on my mood. I like classic literature. I love Mark Twain. I love Margaret Atwood. I love Edgar Allan Poe, Shakespeare. So I have a good mix of books that I like. I like to try and read at least one book a week of my own on top of any that I have to read for school. So let's see. How do the things I like make me feel? Why do I like them? So I said I liked wrestling and crafting, and reading obviously is a big one. I feel like they each kind of contribute to my life in a different way. For wrestling, I test myself physically every day I'm on the mat. I like to push my limits and see how much further I can go past them. I like the competition. I love just the physicalness of it. It's a controlled aggression, and it's really fun because it's a mental game too. You have to be able to think about what you want to do. You have to plan ahead. You have to strategize, but you have to do it in the moment. So you don't really have time to think about what you're doing, but you have to make those quick, instant decisions, or you might mess up and put yourself in a bad position. So that one's really fun. That's for physical. Crafting is kind of my relaxing, I'll turn on a show, lay back, self-care kind of thing. Because I do lead a pretty busy life, so having that time to unwind and just focus on myself, on what I want to do, and have a final product, I don't know, it's just kind of satisfying to me. And then the other thing was reading. Reading, that's more of the mental challenge to counteract the physical challenge. So with reading, it enhances my brain because your mental game needs to be just as strong as your physical game, especially with wrestling, weightlifting, and all that. So I think that each kind of counteract each other and complement each other. So my physical game would be better if my mental game was better, and vice versa. I can focus better if my physical game is on point. So if I keep up with my training, I can focus on my books and my education better. And then if I keep my mental stability and strength up, then I can keep my physical capabilities up as well. So yeah, that's why I like them. They kind of each contribute in their own way to my life and helping me to get where I am. You guys were asking about my age and my birthday. So I was born on July 10th of 2000. So I am 20 years old. And I will be graduating when I'm 20 as well, which is kind of scary. But let's see. When did I start wrestling? I started wrestling my senior year of high school. So I'm from Indiana. So where I'm from, they had just started girls wrestling, I think a year or two before I started. But we didn't really know about it. Like, my dad was a wrestling coach. I grew up with wrestling my whole life. It's just kind of a thing. My parents met at a wrestling meet, so it's really in my blood. But I didn't know about it until my senior year. So we thought we'd just do it for fun. I'd only wrestle girls. I wouldn't wrestle guys. Not a big deal. And I ended up going to regionals, doing really well. I ended up going to state. And after state, my senior year, I started getting calls from colleges. So I got scholarship offers and ended up at University of the Cumberlands because they were the best fit for me. They gave me the best offer. I really enjoyed it here. So I've continued wrestling, and I want to go back and coach at high schools and build up the girls program in Indiana. So, when did I move to Kentucky? So I'm really only here during the school year. I am from Indiana. I do still live up in the northwestern corner of Indiana, and I only come down here for school. I've been here for 3 years on and off. So during the summer, I go home the whole time. I usually go home for breaks. But other than that, I'm usually here. I've been here about 3 years. Do I like Star Wars? I do. So I haven't caught up on the new ones. I think the one I stopped at was Rogue One. But I don't know, I just got disinterested at that point. But I do like the classics. I grew up with them. My brothers were big fans. So, of course, I watched them. But yeah, we always just kind of grew up with Star Wars in the house. Why wrestling? Like I said, it's just a physical challenge every day. You're pushing yourself past your limits. You're pushing yourself to the point you didn't think you'd ever get to. It's just really fun to challenge yourself and to see what your body's really capable of, because you never really know until you try. And with wrestling, it pushes you mentally and physically every day, past your comfort zone, past your boundaries. It's one of the best sports I've ever done. And you learn so many lessons from it that carry on into life. And I wouldn't be the person I am without it. So, let's see. How do I have patience and time to deal with all these students? It just goes back to my love for teaching. I want you guys to learn something. So I'm willing to be patient with you. I'm willing to listen and help you learn in whatever way you guys want to learn. I'm here for you. So I want you to be the best possible version of yourself. And that does require patience, yes, because sometimes students can be frustrating, I'll be honest. But in the end, the reward is better. Watching a kid learn, watching a kid's eyes light up as they're learning something new and they're enjoying it. That makes it all worthwhile. That makes me be more patient, because I know there are going to be moments like that for every student, and I want to be there to experience it with you. So, I mean, that's just the love of teaching. That's what every teacher wants. Favorite subject? Again, English. I mean, love of reading. I love breaking it down. I love just how you can take something so simple like a book and break it down into smaller pieces. And there's so much more to it than you think. How all these words have different meanings depending on how they're used. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. So, alright. Am I going to be a student teaching with just Miss White, or am I student teaching with others? So at Williamsburg, I will only be with Miss White. I've observed other teachers around there. I observed in high school. I observed Miss Huddleston. I observed Mr. Jones. I observed Mr. Evans when he was here. I've observed all over the place. So I've been in the school. I've been with a lot of different people, but I will just be with Miss White for a few more weeks. I think about until end of February, mid-February, because then I have to go to Whitley County and observe a high school classroom. So I will be observing middle school and high school because I'm certified in both. So I'll be a middle school and high school teacher. So I need to have both experiences. So I'll only be with Miss White for a little while, but you'll see me all around. So feel free to say hi. I'd love to get to know